Because I know who would be in this movie. But I want to hear your take.
Well, we would not. We wouldn't be Dutch.
No.
We wouldn't be Dylan.
No.
We wouldn't be Mac.
No.
We would be like Hawkins and someone else, right?
Mark, we'd be the guys driving the helicopters.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. We gotta go.
You gotta go. You guys go have a good time doing whatever you gotta do with this South American jungle, but we're out of here. We gotta go. We're gonna watch Road Warrior later, order some pizza, but we're part of this journey with you.
We brought a VHS and a TV with us that we can plug into the helicopter's battery.
Right. And we're just gonna chill out watching this.
And then there's gunfight in the background. Should we go help? No. Someone needs to be at the chopper.
So Mark, so as I've told you before, my apartment that I lived in my little small town when I moved there for a year housed a bunch of airplanes and movie airplane props. And so for about 8 months of the time I was there was a Huey in the front with an Umbrella Corporation logo on it.
Oh, that's cool.
And so there was the helicopter that was upside down on top of a car in, I think, part 4 at the beginning. Mm-hmm. When she came out and when she was like looking at the town, it was anyways. Whenever I would drive home, part 2. Yeah. Whenever I drive home, I always say I gotta get to the chopper.
Oh, that's fun.
That was like my going home joke.
Oh, that's great. Get to the chopper.
Exactly. So
getting to the finale, that's fun, man. I gotta get home to the chopper. And then you had the Hulk smash helicopter too. I love that. Now,
yeah, that was in the back. That was in the back of my yard.
They made some very simple choices in this. So at the end, when the Predator gets cocky, it dodges the first kill zone, and then a log smashes it.
Yeah, how does that log smash?
Oh, I love it. I mean, because I also like that in a lot of movies, the Predator would just bench press that log off of it. And you see it lifting up, but it's mortally wounded. And I kind of like that because as insane as 80s movies were, if a log that size lands on your head or shoulder, you're dead. Like you're immobilized. It's a mortal wound where you are at. And I like that. I like the blood on the Predator. What they used glow sticks and KY jelly to make the Predator blood.
Right, which I used on my son's Halloween costume this year.
Nice. Oh, that was a sweet costume. And it's just laying there mimicking what Arnold is saying to him. And I just think that's such an iconic moment because it explains some more intelligence to these creatures and almost a sense of humor. And I also like how Arnold at the end isn't walking away from the explosion. He is running from the explosion.
What he's doing.
Yeah, he is not walking like a cool guy. He wants away from this thing. And also, before the fight even starts, when he's covered in mud, there's just a logic to this creature and a logic to what he can see and what he can fight and what he can see in regards to heat vision. That's very simple to understand where you are and what's happening. And I think a lot of fight scenes lack that.
So, Mark, since our first episode together, I have been on the record saying I can get behind any story. Just tell me the rules.
Yeah.
Tell me the rules of the universe, and he can only see heat. I'm in. I buy it. I'm with you 100%. Mm-hmm. So just tell me the rules, and we can go from there. So this was a great final battle between these two guys. It was very visceral. I think it's so believable that that's an alien, right? Because he's like touching. It's not like we've talked many times about how CG fights, you don't feel the punches. No. You feel every punch that either one of these guys takes and throws.
Oh yeah,
like
every punch.
My favorite moment in this movie, hands down, is when he drops the mask and it hits the ground with that thud.
Yes, I love that thunk.
They made that thing seem so heavy. I'd love to see a crazy movie data post, Mark, about how much a Predator helmet weighs.
Ooh, because that thing really smacks on the ground.
But then in The Predator, a kid wears one for Halloween.
Can we just pretend that The Predator isn't a movie?
I don't know, man. It's there. But I would like to see that movie data. How much does a Predator helmet weigh?
All right. Why not? So you'd have to gauge the...
I would say this. How much does the Predator's armor weigh?
Well, I like that. That's fun. Just the first movie.
Just the first movie.
And I'm going to preface it. I just watched the first film. I don't care about the comics.
You know what? I would say 1 and 2.
Okay, 1 and 2. Yeah, you got to add some Busey in there.
You got to add some Busey.
And some Pax.
Yeah, and those movies feel like the real Predator movies to me.
Dude, we should cover Predator 2 fight scene next.
Oh, I'm
Danny
so
Glover.
down with that. D-Gloves?
D-Gloves battling a one-armed monster. What a brilliant strategy to handle that fight scene.
Yeah.
I love these movies.
But yeah, no, so Predator 2 was dynamite. But I remember watching it and being disappointed that it wasn't Schwarzenegger.
Oh, wait, should we save this for the pod? The Predator 2 pod?
That's all I'm going to say. Nothing else. But yeah, we'll save it for the Predator 2 pod.
I love D-Glove, though, man. D-Glove crushed it in that movie.
Well, we'll save it for the pod.
There it is. Final thoughts about this final fight before we get out of here?
It's my favorite on-screen alien of any race, and it's my favorite Schwarzenegger fight ever.
Wow. And I guess my final thought is that you have to do it for narrative storytelling to let the audiences know where things are. But Arnold sure was telegraphing where these traps were. He was looking at everything. So if you're the Predator, just look at his eye line. Oh, there's a spike. Oh, there's that stick. Like but Arnold Mark, what's up?
Here's the thing I want to say, and this is why I buy that. So with this whole situation right now, my job has essentially changed from being a youth and worship guy at church to like producing our weekly television show. And so we broadcast it online on Sunday morning. So it's pre-recorded, it's ready to go. But not until 10 o'clock on Sunday morning do I know whether it's going to work or not. There's always like an anxious nervousness about it.
Yeah.
And I think Schwarzenegger's just, he knows, he trusts himself. His traps are going to work, but he's just not sure. So I think the telegraphing he's like looking at it once more like, did I set it up right? Is it going to go? I think he's not telegraphing so much as like, he's a little cautious. This is a life or death situation here.
Got it. So yeah, I'll buy it. I'll give you that. And then one last question before we get out of here. How much does that Predator regret keeping the middle spike in when he traps Arnold on the tree in the beginning of the fight? Is it the middle spike? Or does he only have two spikes? Or is it, I think he keeps one in, right? So then he traps Arnold's head.
Right. But here's the thing, Mark. Do you think the Predator was disappointed with how that fight went? Because he was laughing at the end.
Yeah, I guess that if you're going to be about it, you better be about it. Does that make sense?
They just own it. I think that's like, it's almost like a Klingon thing. Like, this is a good way to die.
I met my match. I made the mistake of not blowing him into smithereens or stabbing him, and this is what I get.
I also like when he's checking out his skull, when he's like, look at it, that'd be a good trophy.
Yeah, you can tell he's like, what is in that thing? That bone density. He respects Dutch.
Right.
All right. Well, this was fun, man. Thank you for joining me.
Anytime, Mark.
This is good. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Adam Hodgins, this is Final Fights. We'll see you next week.